And it's recording, look at that.
All right.
Wow.
How's it going, guys?
Hey guys, welcome. Fuck the intros, we're doing it fast, guys. We're fast and loose this time. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe. James is dressed for success, so we'll get down to the nitty gritty of it, alright?
All righty.
I just realized I came off terribly aggressive. But,
Don't fuck with me, man. Don't fuck with me. I'll fuck with your nuts, huh? I'll fuck them off.
we're gonna talk a little bit about streaming services. And kind of that, all the new ones coming out and this big boom.
That's right.
Yeah. Is it a bubble? Which one's the needle? Let's find out. Well, I don't know. I mean, this all kind of piqued my interest a little bit when I want to say it was the beginning of this month. A lot of it was reported that The Office was leaving Netflix, I think in 2020 or 2021, because NBC is starting out their new streaming service, which I don't think has a name yet. And then a couple weeks later, Friends was announced that's going to be leaving in 2020 because Warner Media is making HBO Max, which will have all of their stuff on it. I think also HBO, I assume, because HBO's kind of in the title. Be kind of weird.
Yeah.
I also wonder about that title though, because I almost assume that it's just HBO's service. Like, just anyone who hears that would be like, oh, so it's just HBO?
Right.
So I wonder why they went with HBO Max and not like Warner Media or, or something like that. Warner
Yeah.
Streaming, something like that. But
No, I don't get it either. I mean, it
yeah,
makes sense why they would want to have people subscribing to their networks to watch the shows that are under their contract and everything, and maybe
sure.
it's more profitable to do it directly rather than Netflix buying it from them or paying them to use it or however that works. But
Yeah,
I
well, oh, sorry.
just just as a just on the consumer face, it's just I feel like a lot of people are gonna be picking and choosing and then overall unhappy because they gotta watch if they want this one show, it's on this thing. I mean, it was one thing when it was mainly like Hulu, Netflix, and HBO because you add all those up together, you got like 30 something bucks a month, probably 40 bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, back when they were a little bit cheaper than they are, I guess, too. But, so it wasn't, and if you watch a lot of TV, that's not all that bad.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that, because I assume it is cheaper, definitely, because it's like, well, we don't have to pay this place and this place. We'll just keep it. But to get The Office off of Netflix before their contract was up cost $500 million. So before their streaming service is even up, they had to pay that much to get their
Wow.
stuff back. Yeah, so I mean, granted, who knows? For a company like that, they probably saw that and were like, whatever, that's cool. Like, we'll get that back pretty easily. But they're already losing a lot of money right off the bat. So what I found out a little bit more about HBO Max. I got some notes right here. It will have Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Pretty Little Liars, and all of those DC CW shows like Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl. But for shows that are going like new seasons before the streaming service launches, they will wait 30 days before that next season starts before putting the previous season on the site. I'm curious about Hulu because, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and AP Bio will kind of have their new episodes on Hulu the day after it airs on TV. So I wonder if they're taking it off of Hulu as well, or how that's really going to work.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, it seems like that's the direction it's heading to. It's going to be just everything so separated
Yeah,
into
which,
a bunch of
like,
different, streaming services.
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, which, as you were saying, on a consumer level, like it's getting kind of confusing, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I really liked about, or still do, like about Netflix, Hulu, whatever, is that you do get a pretty good variety of things for the most part. Um, 'Cause isn't that the point, right? It's like, at least it was, right? It's that one stop almost where it's like, all right, Netflix has
Right.
this, but oh, it also has that. Cool, I want to watch that. Um, but I think the exclusive content, the originals, is becoming really, really big, and it's yeah, I don't really know how I feel about it.
Mm.
All in all, NBC though is going to have a free version with 60 to 90 seconds of ads per hour, which is not really a lot of ads,
Oh,
if that's the
that's less
case.
than the cheap version of Hulu.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna space it out like with commercial breaks, like standard TV, or after an hour they'll just roll some commercials or something like that. But there's an ad-free version that's $12 a month.
Hmm.
So that's kind of cool. I know Hulu used to be ad-free for a while.
Yeah, now it's the same deal. It's ad free for 12 a month
Mm. But their prices dropped to like 5.99
for
with
the
ads.
yeah with ads.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, me too.
The only problem with making like a ton of different streaming services and stuff is like the whole one stop thing, as you were saying. It's like when a lot of people that watch Netflix don't necessarily know what they want to watch. So they're
Yeah.
just kind of like, all right, well, I'll just see whatever's on Netflix. And they can just like, they have a variety so they can scroll and scroll and scroll. Now
Hmm.
it's like if they have all these different things, it's like, all right, so scroll through this app, but now I'm going to see what's on this app. Now I'm going to see what's on this app. And it's just spending so much time looking for something to watch.
Yeah, you're wasting half your evening going through all your services. Um, there's a really good video by Red Letter Media where they talk briefly about all these streaming sites, and they were saying how if the human brain gets more than like 12 options, things start to just kind of gloss over, and they just decide like they can't make a decision. Um, And I thought that was really interesting because I feel like that's kind of what it's getting to, right? Where not only do you have one app with countless stuff on it, you're gonna have like 10 apps or whatever with all these other options. And yeah, like what you're saying, it's like you almost kind of have to know beforehand, like I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I gotta say though, for the Disney thing, if they include like movies from Touchstone Pictures and all those other kind of companies that is under the Disney umbrella, they're gonna have so much stuff, and it's
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
crazy because they own so many different companies and subsidiaries and whatnot. If they have Full House, Smart House, that's what. If they have Smart House and Full Court Miracle, dude, game over, man.
Oh yeah.
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off,
All
I
the
don't
old
care. I
stuff.
don't. Yeah, I don't care. Charge me whatever you want.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
But Um, I'd like to do a little bit of price breakdown, if that's all right. I was adding up all the monthly bills. If someone had these 9 services: Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime Video, NBC, CBS, HBO, and the DC streaming site. We'll throw that in there because they got their own and they have their like back catalog and stuff. And this is all the premium versions, like the ad-free, the Netflixes where it's like you can have more people watching on the same account at the same time. So just keep that in mind for anyone who's like, um, for anyone listening. The annual cost of those 9 services is $1,595.28.
Damn.
Yeah. and that's just the exclusive packages. Not saying that's like the average. Um, but I was also wondering because everyone's like, oh, all these streaming services, it's going to be more than cable. Well, not necessarily, because Spectrum cable is $779.88 a year. Dish with 290 plus channels is $1,079.88, and Charter cable is $539.88.
Hmm.
Like what, as you, James, what services do you have? What services that are kind of coming up seem worth it to you?
Oh, I mean, personally, I have Hulu,
Mm-hmm.
and then I mean, I go on my family's Netflix and HBO, which
Yeah.
I think they're going to be getting rid of soon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mostly have Hulu, but I would definitely look into the DC one or like, and then HBO Max possibly.
Yeah.
But
As just for budgeting, since you're looking into those, DC Universe is 7.99 and HBO Max is going to be 15, which is a bit pricier, but it will have a ton of stuff.
right,
I've been really into Hulu lately, not that we're, paid to say that or anything, of course, because obviously, but
so
just
I have to.
YouTube's weird where it's like anything that seems like a paid advertisement, you gotta kind of nip that in the bud. But I've been really into Hulu lately, just with I don't know, a lot of stuff is left Netflix. They get rid of stuff a lot, uh, and Hulu's got a lot of good movies. I'll say
That's
that they they have really cool movies that are they got some new ones too that Netflix doesn't have, so that's always nice and appreciated.
Hulu's
Uh,
got my good background shows.
yeah,
Like
because
one,
Family Guy's still on there.
yeah, I mean, not strictly for background purposes, but it's a lot of the shows that I do watch on Netflix, I'm like paying attention to the story
Hmm.
and everything. Not, I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't been watching much lately, but that's normally what it was. But I mean, Hulu, I can, just be doing something
Hmm.
and then, it's like tune into the show every now and then because don't really have to pay too much attention to Family Guy. It's just jokes, especially South Park.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I'm feeling the same way lately. I haven't, excuse me, been able to really sit down and devote a good amount of time to pay attention to a show. And not that Hulu doesn't have those kinds of shows, but Netflix just came out with Stranger Things and has a bunch of good shows like that where you really want to sit down and watch and pay attention to.
I think that was the last thing I did sit
Mm,
down and pay attention to. Stranger Things
yeah,
season 3.
yeah. I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, I think part of it is also I've been rewatching Malcolm in the Middle, which is going to be on Disney Plus.
Mm.
So I kind of want to finish it before it leaves Hulu, or if it will leave Hulu. I don't know. It seems like a lot of the deals that they have, right, where all the headlines were like Disney is leaving Netflix, but they didn't really mention anything about Hulu. So I don't know if they are or if because Netflix kind of runner kahuna of them all, the staple name that they're just deciding to talk about that. So
Mm.
it's a weird Wild West kind of thing going
Yeah.
on. And I think we talked about it a little bit, but if we could just kind of backtrack to, um, are all of these niche or more niche streaming services, do you think they're gonna last and things are gonna change to that, or do you think they might go back, or which ones do you think I guess will make it in the long run?
I'd kind of prefer it if they went back after a while, because
Mhm.
just as we were saying, it's like that's cool, because they'll have stuff that isn't on any sort of just streaming service that's out there right now
Yeah.
and all that, because they don't have to, have a company like buy that show and do all that.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna run into, if Netflix just loses shows and everything like that, they're probably gonna stop trying to buy shows as far as, just like we're gonna buy them, we're gonna put it up to watch. I think they
Mhm.
might just start paying for their original series more,
Mm.
everything like that, and it's just gonna be like you go on Netflix and it's all Netflix shows now.
Oh my God. I
And
I
don't get
I
me
kind
wrong,
of shudder to think.
I do like some of the originals.
Yeah.
They have some good stuff there, but they
Right.
it's just, yeah, I like that it was just kind of like middleman in a way, that I like
Yeah,
that about it. I liked,
for
I
sure.
mean, that was the first thing I had. It was that when you ordered the DVDs and the
Oh
mail
yeah, yeah.
and everything, that's back when I had it. And then and then when it grew into, you can just stream shit and just watch it while while you're chilling there. I mean,
Mhm.
that was great. Just all the shows that I already liked in the past. I mean, the first time Netflix broke my heart was when they got rid of South Park. I was like,
Yeah, that was a
what
big
the hell?
bummer.
But I mean, yeah, I guess it just when you're dealing with a bunch of different companies, it's like they all have different plans. It's not they're not necessarily going to work perfectly together.
Sure. And speaking of Netflix, because I mean, that one, Netflix basically killed Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So it's been around the longest. It's definitely like the most popular, and I'm, Netflix and chill. No one says Hulu and decompress.
Right.
Uh, so I think that's kind of like if something happens to Netflix, I feel like it kind of sets the stage for the other ones. But they released in their second quarter, they lost a good amount of subscribers, and I feel with their model, it seems unless a show is really really popular, they'll do 2 or 3 seasons, maybe just one, to kind of generate buzz and get new people to sign up, and then they'll be like, all right, we did the season or two, let's cancel it, move on to something else.
Right.
And I wonder if maybe that's part of it, that subscribers are kind of losing it because it's like, oh, I really liked the show. I guess they canceled it. I'm like, all right. Because I think if Netflix is just originals, I don't know. I think I might cancel it. Well, actually, I don't pay for it, but like
Right.
I wouldn't use it because there are some good ones, but I don't know if there's enough to
Right.
really
To
keep me.
warrant like its own monthly, especially
Yeah.
if it's still, I don't even, what is it, like 15.99 a month now?
That's the premium, but I think the basic is like 12, I
So
think.
yeah, I would say if it's gonna be all original, they should be dropping it down to like the base Hulu price or something.
Yeah.
Because then, like if they're, because I feel like if they focus more on it, they're gonna have better ones,
Mm.
but it's not gonna be as good as like going on and being like, oh, I've heard about these shows that come from all these different sources, or I like this movie from back in the day, and look, it's on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of that, so many movies that we've watched and liked in high school are not Netflix originals. That show Sirens that I think was on A&E, I watched on Netflix, and that was a really good show. And
Yeah.
I think A&E might be a part of the HBO Max, like Time Warner thing. I could be wrong about that, but it's like, uh, does someone have to buy a whole new service just to find a show like Sirens that they like? Like, it just
Right.
seems a ridiculous idea to me. Uh,
It is.
Granted, these people, I assume, know what they're doing because they're the big heads are making these decisions. But I
Right.
don't know. On paper, they just it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, it's like TV. Like Netflix was kind of like TV in the sense where they had stuff from TBS. They had stuff from, I don't know,
Yeah,
whatever. They had cooking shows and contests and American Ninja Warrior. Then they had dramas and comedies and all that stuff. Like that
right. And
makes the most
gave you
sense
the
to me.
option to pick what show, what
Yeah,
episode.
exactly. Netflix has a lot of really cool, like weird hidden gems that you wouldn't know about, and maybe they aren't always originals, and
Right.
but it gives you a platform to find that stuff. I gotta say though, just to kind of throw some shade at CBS, I haven't heard anything about them since they released the Twilight Zone show. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's if I don't even know if that show like has done well, but it's like I don't see that one lasting very long. I don't even know what's on there.
Yeah, the program was ass. That's the only the Twilight show and all that, like there's a two or three or whatever that you can actually watch from start to finish on there. Then the other ones are like, oh well, we released this one recently, so you can go back and watch it. But there's a monthly fee for that. I'm just like, what the hell? Because it wasn't. I forgot exactly how much it was. I don't think it was crazy expensive, but I don't think it was as cheap as 5.99.
No, it says that I when I googled it, it says that it's 9.99 ad free.
Right?
So
Like
that's the most
why?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't. Yeah, I don't. I didn't get it. I was like, that's just kind of dumb. And then it had those things where you could watch like just clips from the shows, like for older episodes, and I'm like, I could go to YouTube for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
I
pay
wonder.
a
Oh,
monthly
sorry.
subscription for that, you know? I just yeah, I was really disappointed with the CBS service.
Yeah, I wonder if DVDs are gonna kind of become more popular. I didn't look it up. I don't know if DVD sales have really dropped too much because every movie still gets released on DVD, at least every major one. So, but like I've bought DVDs, not really of new movies, but I know my parents haven't bought DVDs in years, and I wonder if those are kind of going to become a bit more popular, or something like Redbox might become more popular,
Yeah,
or there might be something similar to Redbox, even though I guess Redbox was kind of a competition to Netflix.
right.
I wonder if that avenue of you can just go to a Walmart or grocery store or whatever and pick rent that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people like to leave their house.
That's true.
I
I
feel like
mean,
they're gonna pay more for the convenience.
yeah. I wonder though. Um, I've been converting a lot of my DVDs to MP4s to put on my iTunes when I'm traveling on the train every day for work and stuff.
Yeah,
So I've been thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I should just either convert a DVD I bought a long time ago or just buy it on iTunes or something. And just from my own experience of that, I wonder if because of how things are going, if someone's like, I don't want the service, I'll just buy the DVD. Like the things that aren't originals, I guess. Because I don't think they make DVDs of some of the original stuff they have. But if someone's like, well, I don't want to buy an entire streaming service to watch The Office, like if that's all they watch in terms of NBC shows, well, it's like just get the DVD, just get the
yeah,
bundle. Like Parks and Rec, I don't know if because that's NBC too, I think. Um, I don't know. I don't think I'd buy the DVDs necessarily, but maybe if I'm like really jonesing for it, I'm like, yeah, I'd watch these a lot.
right. Yeah, if it's a show that you do watch on repeat like that, it would be
Yeah.
worth it, and you would save money in the end.
Yeah. I think people are definitely gonna prioritize then, because it's like, oh yeah, Parks and Rec is on. Yeah, I'll put that on, or is on Netflix. So it's like, okay, I'll throw that on as I'm, cooking or just hanging out, whatever is background noise. But then when it's gone and they have to pay a totally new service to get it, they might say, I actually don't like Parks and Rec all that much. Or they might be like, oh, I really do. I'll get the DVD.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting though.
It is interesting.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, really don't know what's gonna, you know, happen with all this, what's gonna push through, and what's just gonna be like, a thing that comes out and then kind of goes away after a little bit.
yeah.
But
I mean, we're not going back to just normal TV, you know.
definitely not. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting, I don't know, 10, 15 years of figuring out
Yeah.
the streaming, the digital, like what's going to phase out, what's going to stay, something totally new might show up.
Yeah, it's kind of all up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I
Hmm.
mean, I would definitely. I mean, we have been, speaking kind of negatively about the whole new idea and everything.
Yeah.
I guess it is kind of cool that like it'll kind of organize things more. Like the Netflix algorithm kind of is sloppy where it'll be like, oh, like funny movie or whatever, and it's something definitely not funny or has
Yeah.
intention of being funny.
Yeah.
So, if you don't have an idea of what you're trying to watch, but you want like a certain kind of show,
Yeah.
if you have a couple different, services and these kinds of shows are on this one, you can go to that one and kind of find it there a little more easy. So that's cool.
Yeah,
I don't
you know what?
know
You
if it
actually
makes it worth paying for a bunch of different things, but that's a cool thing about it, I guess.
Yeah, you make a good point because I think what you just said kind of contradicts what I was saying earlier, which is fine and good. Because I was saying it doesn't make sense on paper, but what you just said totally makes sense now.
Yeah.
But I do agree with that little like, but is it all worth it to have
Right.
all these different? Because like a thing like Roku, right? You get all your apps kind of on that homepage, and you're
Yep.
just gonna see like all this whole list, and especially shows. I do get it, honestly. Like I'm having this revelation, but NBC. All right, they have a whole bunch of shows, probably a bunch of networks under their belt, all that stuff. Time Warner has a whole bunch of shows and different networks and channels under their belt. That's all one place. But not to sound like a broken record, it's like, but do you really want to spend upwards of almost $1,600 a month?
Right.
I'm sorry, a year.
Right.
Jesus
No.
Christ,
Oh,
could you imagine?
yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, because it's kind of how that goes for a lot of things. It's really just like how much is the convenience of having that, worth it to you. Like
hmm,
I live 2 miles away from a Taco Bell, and on one of those delivery apps, I can get it just sent to my house, but
hmm.
it's an extra $6 just to get it sent to me from 2 miles away. So I'm thinking, is it really like, do I really not want to drive that bad that I can't just like go down the street and then just pay probably six fucking dollars just for the Taco Bell instead of making it $12? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a time where I will be that lazy. Probably not for Taco Bell,
Yeah.
but especially if you're drinking or something.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Definitely. That's a good way. That's a good situation where you shouldn't be driving.
Yeah.
And you're gonna want your Taco Bell.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's weird because like when I first heard about The Office leaving, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do a video, but it'd be like a 3 minute thing. And then things have kind of picked up a little bit within the last few weeks, but I feel like there's still not enough to really talk in depth about. It's more just our thoughts on what is changing in the streaming landscape. Um, on that note, you have any recommendations?
Um, hmm. I haven't been watching movies lately, so
Any show or anything like that?
Real Bros of Simi Valley.
What's it called?
Real Bros of Simi Valley, SIMI.
Oh, okay.
It's on first season's on YouTube, second one's on Facebook Watch.
Oh, okay.
Remember Life According to Jimmy?
Yeah,
He does a parody reality TV show.
that sounds
It's
cool.
it's absolutely hilarious.
He was great in the first season of American Vandal. It's a great
Yeah,
show on Netflix.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out pretty soon. But I watched Detective Pikachu earlier today.
Good.
Yeah, actually, like everyone was, freaking out over the trailers, and then I don't really remember hearing much about it when it finally came out. Ryan Reynolds is hilarious in it. When he shows up, the movie immediately gets better because there are some cringy moments when it first starts.
It's Pokemon.
Yeah, but if this came out when I was in like elementary school and middle school, I would have loved this movie because I found myself like seeing a Pokemon in the background that I knew and being like, "Oh, it's that one." And then there's a poster that has like Johto region on it and Sinnoh region. I'm like, "I know those." And I kind of felt like a freaking dweeb, but it was
They
kind of
were the
fun.
classics.
Yeah, like it was kind of fun just
Well,
to see
Johto.
that as a fan being like, "Oh, cool." Like I forget the name of it, the octopus Pokemon from like Gen 2 was in the back. But there's this cringy part where his friend is trying to get, the main character's friend, sorry, I'm having a stroke,
Mm.
is wants him to catch a Cubone because he's like, "You're so lonely, you need a Pokemon." And he's like, "I don't want a Pokemon, bleh." And he's like, "No, man, I figured it out because, a fire type wouldn't be right for you, a water type wouldn't be right for you." And I'm like, what is this, like a BuzzFeed quiz where it's like, was that a thing where you caught Pokemon specifically based on your personality? I'm like, I didn't think that was a thing.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of cringy. And then part of it I thought was a little predictable where this old man, it shows Mewtwo in the beginning and then it cuts a little bit later to this old man talking about like, "Oh, I have this illness and I've been studying Pokemon evolution." And I'm like, did he become Mewtwo? Like, did he genetically alter himself to become Mewtwo? Which was not the case, but it was something similar.
Mm.
Where, no spoilers, it was just something similar. And then, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds is really funny in it. Once he gets on screen, it's a lot funnier and less cringy.
I bet.
So
But
it was cool. It wasn't too bad.
well, good Rex.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's about it for this episode.
Oh
Falling out of
yeah.
my chair. But falling out of a sitting chair. How about that? Thanks for watching, guys, and leave us some comments with what you want us to talk about next.
He's out.
See you.